all matters on this calendar. I'll call you each one at a time to the podium, and I'll provide a second name to sit in the chair outside of this room. If we could have Michael Fernandez to the podium and Jennifer Hinton to the chair. Good morning, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Michael Fernandez, 12788.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you have 3 cases on the calendar here this morning. The first one is a new Superior Court case, and it does include 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. I'm going to give you some hearings. You're going to have a status conference February 21st at 8:30, an evidentiary hearing February 24th at 1:30, and a preliminary hearing on February 26th at 8:30.
Okay.
It looks like you also have a grand jury warrant that was issued for you, and that is for an offense date of February 25th, 2024 for 2 counts of aggravated DUI, a Class 4 felony. I'm going to appoint counsel in that case as well and set an arraignment hearing on February 25th at 8:30. And your third case on the calendar is a Superior Court failure to appear bench warrant. I'm going to affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you and set a status conference February 27th at 8:30. On your failure to appear warrant, you have a cash-only appearance bond of $1,000. On the grand jury warrant, you also have a cash-only appearance bond of $1,000. However, on your new charges, because you were already out on felony release, you'll be held non-bondable tonight on that case. The hearing set for February 24th at 1:30 is the time set for your attorney to present evidence to determine if bond will be set on this case.
Okay.
Did you have any questions?
No.
Okay, just up to your left, they'll give you that paperwork, sir. Thank you. Jennifer Hinton to the podium and Jeffrey Heiler to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Jennifer Hinton, 11/27/80.
Thank you, ma'am. It does look like we have 3 cases on the calendar. 2 of them are failure to appear bench warrants that were issued for you. I'm going to affirm the attorney that was previously appointed to represent you and set a status conference on February 27th at 8:30 in each of those cases. You are being held non-bondable on both of those cases.
I know.
You also have a 3rd case on the calendar, and it's a Maryville Justice Court warrant, and it's for an offense date of November 18th, 2024, and it's for 1 count of driving with a license that was suspended, revoked, or canceled. They've indicated you failed to appear at a hearing on December 11th, 2024. I will appoint counsel in that case and set an arraignment hearing in the Maryville Justice Court on February 20th at 8:30, and you have a secured appearance bond of $50 in that case. All of that information will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions, ma'am?
No.
Okay, just up to your left, they'll give you your paperwork. Jeffrey Heiler to the podium and Timothy Saavedra to the chair.
Your Honor, did you see anything for page 2 for Michael Hernandez or self-esteem?
Did you say for Michael Hernandez?
The very first gentleman.
I had 3 cases for him, but none of them are listed as page 2s.
Okay.
I'm sorry? Okay, we don't see anything for page 2. Thank you. Can I get your name and date of birth, sir?
Jeffrey Heiler, 32768.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like we are here on 1 case, and it is a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, a Class 3 felony, and 1 count of ag assault from an adult on a minor, a Class 6 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing February 26th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $50,000. If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of any alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No. What is the bond?
$50,000.
Okay. So how much would that be to get out?
You can contact bail bonding companies to see if you can do a contract with them, typically 10% plus collateral.
Okay. Wow. I don't understand the charge. I was, what was it, but a minor?
Correct.
I'm saying,
there's allegations that a minor was involved in the assault that was committed. But there was an adult and a minor there.
Okay, because they were saying that I had brandished a weapon, and the people that the called said they didn't see any weapons.
Okay, so the allegations do indicate that you pulled a weapon on an adult and a minor.
Right, so I'm saying, and the ones that was said that I did that, you know, I mean, the ones that was, I suppose they did that too, said I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a weapon.
Okay, and that's not what the Form 4 indicates, that the victims have indicated that you did have a weapon and that you pointed it directly at them.
Right, and like I said, because my mom is the one, it was the way they had it set up that day that I came, ma'am, I was arrested. I went over to where the people said that I was supposed to show the weapon to. They said I didn't have one, and so the police had me step over. And they said it was a lady in the truck. I mean, that was in the vehicle that said that she saw the weapon. And come to find out, that woman was my mom, and my mom is on drugs, and she's been trying to get over to my apartment. And like I said, you know, that right there, the people that I was supposed to have did, she was in an apartment that was around the corner. They didn't even, you know, there was no way she could have saw that.
So again, the information provided to me says something different. It indicates that the adult victim and the child victim indicate that you did point a gun directly at them. I'll let you address that directly with your attorney. You'll meet with your attorney on February 24th at 8:30.
So I can stay in jail?
You'll stay in custody if you don't post that bond. If you post bond, you'll be released, and then you'll need to attend those.
Okay, so now who do I got to find some, I mean, who do I talk to to be able to post bond?
So they'll give you more information when you get to the back, and they'll give you access to a telephone and bail bonding company number for you to call.
All right, thank you.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork, sir.
Thank you.
Timothy Saavedra to the podium and Shannon Smith to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Timothy Elias Saavedra, 9382.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we have two cases on the calendar here this morning. The first one is a new Superior Court case, and it does have an allegation of 1 count of burglary in the 3rd degree, a Class 4 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 26th at 8:30. In this case, you have a secured appearance bond of $2,500. If you post bond, you have written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, and no contact with any co-defendants, and contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Because you are on probation when you were picked up for this new charge, that is a Term 1 violation. I'm going to appoint counsel in that case as well and set a probation revocation hearing on February 24th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $50 in that case, so your total bond is $2,550. Again, if bond is posted, you have written conditions of release. That will be included in your paperwork. Did you have any questions? Okay, so step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork. Shannon Smith to the podium and Dustin Akeley to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Shannon Smith, April 24th, 1988.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like we have 3 cases on the calendar. 2 are probation violation warrants that were issued for you. One alleges you violated, well, they both allege you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I'm going to appoint counsel in each of those cases and set a probation revocation hearing on February 24th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $1,000 in each of those cases. You also have a new case, and that is coming out of the town of Wickenburg, and it's for 1 count of shoplifting, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have an arraignment hearing in the town of Wickenburg on February 26th at 9 a.m. You have a $50 secured appearance bond in this case. If bond is posted, you do have written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
Yeah. No.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, I'll hand you your paperwork, sir. Thank you. Dustin Akeley to the podium and Cassandra Juan to the chair. Good morning, sir. Could I get your name and date of birth?
Dustin Akeley, September 5th, 1994.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we have 2 cases on the calendar. The first one is a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of assault, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 26th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $1,500 in this case. You also have a probation violation case. Because you were on probation, it's a term 1 violation when you were picked up for these new charges. I'll appoint counsel in that case as well and set a probation revocation hearing on February 24th at 8:30. You have a $100 secured appearance bond in that case. So your total bond is $1,600. If you post bond, you need to follow all written conditions of release, including contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. Did you have any questions?
What's the secured and unsecured? What is that?
Secured meaning you can use a bail bonding company rather than a cash-only appearance bond. Bail bonding companies are typically 10% plus collateral, but you'll have to contact them and reach an agreement with them.
Okay, so I can call a bail?
You can under yours because it is secured, yes.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, well, then they're not all cash, right? I can use my, like a debit card or something?
Well, if you're going to post it without using a bail bonding company, then you'd have to post the $1,600, and they typically do accept credit cards, but you're not going to have access to your belongings while you're in custody, so somebody else would have to do that for you. If you want to contact a bail bonding company, you would have to see what form of payment they take.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
If you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. I didn't change anything since I've been in here. Okay. There. Thanks. Cassandra Juan to the podium and Kayla Vadnal to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Cassandra Juan, 72988.
Thank you, ma'am. And it does look like we are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of burglary in the 3rd degree, a Class 4 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 26th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $1,500 in this case. If you post bond, you have written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses. All of this will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions, ma'am? If you step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork. Kayla Vadnal to the podium and Diamond Holmes to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Yeah, it's Kayla Vadnal, 082991.
Thank you, ma'am. It does look like we have 2 cases on the calendar. The first one is a failure to appear bench warrant that was issued for you. I'm going to affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you and set a status conference on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 26th at 8:30. In that case, you have a secured appearance bond of $500. You also have a warrant from Surprise Municipal Court, and that relates to an offense date of April 21st, 2021, relating to a theft. In this case, I will appoint counsel as well and set an arraignment hearing in the Surprise Municipal Court on February 25th at 1 p.m. You have a secured appearance bond of $1,000 in that case. Between your 2 cases, it's a total secured appearance bond of $1,500. If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release you'll need to comply with. All of it will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions? No. Okay, just step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork. Diamond Holmes to the podium and Gabriel Miguel to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Diamond Holmes, 032988.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you have 2 cases on the calendar, and they're both probation violation warrants. They've alleged you violated terms 3, 4, and 5 in both cases, and on the first case, they additionally included term 13. I will appoint counsel to represent you and set a probation revocation hearing for February 24th at 8:30. That does apply to both probation cases. You have a secured appearance bond of $500 in each case for a total of $1,000. If your bond is posted, you have written conditions of release you need to comply with, including calling your probation officer within 72 hours. That will all be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so step to your left. They'll give you that paperwork, sir. Gabriel Miguel to the podium and Christopher Kelly to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Gabriel Thomas Miguel, 9/23/93.
Thank you. It does look like you are here on a probation violation warrant. They've alleged you violated terms 3, 5, 10, and 15 of your probation. I'm going to appoint counsel and set a probation revocation hearing on February 24th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $1,000. If that bond is posted, you have written conditions of release to include contacting your probation officer within 24 hours. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions? Okay, so step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork, sir.
What's going on?
I'm sorry?
I don't know what's going on.
Did you not understand what I said? Do we need to go over that again?
I'm tired of it. Just
Okay. All of it will be in your written paperwork, okay, sir? Christopher Kelly to the podium. Laquan Stagg to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Christopher Lee Kelly, 12/18/89.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we are here on a direct complaint that was filed. It's for an offense date of August 16th, 2024, and it includes 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you and set a status conference on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing February 26th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $500 in this case. If bond is posted, you have written conditions of release you'll need to comply with. It does include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
So I'm staying, I'm not being released?
Not without posting a $500 bond. Any other questions?
No.
Okay, just step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork. Mr. Stagg to the podium and Albert Ferrer to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Good morning. Laquan Tulane Stagg, July 9, 1974.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like we are here on a probation violation warrant with allegations you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you, and you're going to have a probation revocation hearing February 24th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $250. If your bond is posted, you have written conditions of release, and it will include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork.
You have a blessed day.
You too, sir. Albert Ferrer to the podium and Kenneth Severns to the chair.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Yeah, Albert Fraser, 04/01/91.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like we have 2 cases on the calendar, and they're both probation violation warrants with allegations you violated terms 3, 4, and 5 in each of your cases. I'm going to appoint counsel and set a probation revocation hearing. That will take place February 24th at 8:30. That applies to both probation cases. Each case also has a secured appearance bond of $100 each for a total of $200. If that bond is posted, you have written conditions of release you'll need to comply with, including contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
Is there any way I can get away without posting bond?
Not today, sir. You will have to post the $200 bond in order to be released. If you don't post it, you'll remain in custody until your hearing on February 24th.
Okay, it's only because I started working barely just this week, so I don't know what else. And my family don't have money like that.
Unfortunately, the bond has already been set, so if it's not posted, then you'll stay in custody. They could have disposition on the same date as well, and you could be released depending on the results of your probation revocation hearing.
When day is that again?
February 24th, so today's the 17th, you're looking at next Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork. Kenneth Severns to the podium and Dwight Josseran to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Kenneth Lowell Severns, 6/11/64.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we have 2 cases on the calendar. The first one is a direct complaint that was filed for an offense date of August 17th, 2024. It includes 2 counts of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you and set a status conference on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing February 26th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $100 in this case. You're also on probation, and you were on probation at the time of the alleged offense date of your new case. Because of that, that's a Term 1 violation. So I'm going to appoint counsel and set a probation revocation hearing on February 24th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $50 in this case. Between your 2 cases, it's a total secured appearance bond of $150. If you post that bond, you have written conditions of release to include contacting your probation officer within 72 hours. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, just step to your left. They'll give you that paperwork, sir. Thank you. Dwight Josseran to the podium and Damian Crump to the chair. Good Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Dwight Joseph Joshua, 10-4-64.
Thank you. It does look like we are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of criminal littering or polluting, a Class 2 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference on March 4th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on March 6th at 8:30. I am releasing you today to pretrial services. You'll have written conditions of release you need to comply with. In addition to that, you'll get an envelope with some instructions. You need to read those instructions and contact pretrial services once you've been released. Did you have any questions about that?
I'm getting released today?
It'll take about 4 to 6 hours before you're released,
Oh, okay.
but yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope,
Okay, just up to your left, they'll give you that paperwork.
thank you.
Damian Crump to the podium and David Bustillos to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Damien, date of birth is September 30th, 1990.
And your last name?
Crump?
Thank you so much. Does look like we are here on a new Goodyear Municipal Court case. It includes 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have an arraignment hearing in the Goodyear Municipal Court on March 5th at 1 p.m. I am releasing you today on your own recognizance that you promised to appear at that hearing. You do have written conditions of release that you need to comply with. You need to read those carefully. You are not to have any uninvited contact with any alleged victim. If they give you permission and then revoke it, you again will not be able to have contact. If you live with them and they do not give you permission to have contact, then you will need to find a temporary residence. And if an order of protection is issued, you need to comply with all terms of that. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork.
Thank you.
David Bustillos to the podium and Samuel Curel to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
David Bustillos, October 4th, 1989.
Thank you, sir. And it does look like we are here on a new municipal court case for 1 count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of threat or intimidation, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You're going to have an arraignment hearing in the Buckeye Municipal Court on March 4th at 2 p.m. I'm releasing you today on your own recognizance that you promised to appear at the hearing. You will have written conditions of release you need to comply with. You need to ensure you read them carefully, as you are not to have any uninvited contact with any alleged victim. If they do not allow any contact and you reside with them, you will have to temporarily find a new residence. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, wait, you know what I do?
Sure.
I'm allowed to travel, right?
These are Class 1 misdemeanors, so you're not restricted to remaining in the state of Arizona, but you have to be at that hearing on March 4th.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Samuel Curel to the podium and LaSalle Brookins to the chair. Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
In Spanish,
You need an interpreter?
please.
Okay. If you'll take a seat back out there, we'll call one, okay? Mr. Brookins to the podium.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
LaSalle Brookins, November 20th, 1990.
Thank you, sir. It does look like we are here on a new municipal court case. It does include 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I am going to appoint counsel to represent you and set an arraignment hearing in the Goodyear Municipal Court on March 5th at 1 p.m. I am releasing you today on your own recognizance that you promised to appear at that hearing. You will have written conditions of release you'll need to comply with. You need to review those carefully, as it does indicate you could not have any uninvited contact with any alleged victim. If you reside with an alleged victim and they do not allow contact, you will have to temporarily find a new residence. All of this will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, if you'll step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm sorry? If we clear the courtroom and only have the Spanish, we can do that one. Or if you want to just call that, we can do it and I can put the house calls on the record. That's probably easier. Yeah. Officer, it looks like I have Mr. Walker and Mr. Oakes listed on here, but they're not in here. Do we know if they'll be coming?
No.
And do you know the reasons?
Both of them are UTS.
UTS. Okay, thank you. Case number 16, Anthony Walker, date of birth August 4th, 1962, will proceed as a house call due to being unable to function. We are here on a new Superior Court case with 1 count of aggravated assault on a first responder, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of assault, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent him. I'm setting a status conference February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 26th at 8:30. A secured appearance bond of $2,500 is being set. If bond is posted, there are written conditions of release he'll need to comply with, including not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses. If anything changes after I meet with him, I will update the written record. Case number 14 and 15, Christopher Oakes, date of birth July 28, 1985, will proceed as a house call due to being unable to function. Looks like we are here on 2 probation violation warrants with allegations of violating terms 3 and 5. I will appoint counsel and set a probation revocation hearing on February 24th at 8:30. I am affirming the secured appearance bond of $50 in each case for a total of $100. If bond is posted, he will have written conditions of release to comply with, including contacting his probation officer within 72 hours. If anything changes after I meet with him, I will update the written record. Yes. Mr. Curel to the podium. Good morning. Do I have a Spanish interpreter on the line?
Good morning, ma'am. This is Roberto, ID 8428, a Spanish interpreter, ready for your instructions.
Thank you. Good morning, Roberto. We'll go ahead and get started. Sir, can I please get your name and date of birth?
Samuel Curiel.
Hola, buenas.
11/18/82.
Mr. Curiel, I'm going to ask that you wait until the interpreter interprets before responding, okay? All right, let's go ahead and start over. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Gracias, yo soy el intérprete que le ayuda a comunicarse con la señorita comisionada. ¿Me podría dar, por favor, su nombre y apellidos?
Samuel Curiel.
Gracias, y su fecha de nacimiento.
11/18 del 82.
It is Samuel Curiel, 11/18/1982.
Thank you, sir. And we are here on a new municipal court case.
Gracias, estamos aquí en un nuevo caso de corte municipal.
For 1 count of shoplifting, a Class 1 misdemeanor.
Gracias, un cargo de robo clase 1, delito clase 1 menor.
Due to the nature of your charges, I will not appoint counsel, but you can hire one at your own expense.
Gracias, debido a la naturaleza de sus cargos, no puedo asignarle un abogado, pero usted puede contratar uno a su discreción.
I'm setting an arraignment hearing in Goodyear on March 5th at 1 p.m.
Gracias, usted va a tener una audiencia de convalecencia en marzo 5, a la 1 p.m.
I am releasing you today on your own recognizance. That's your promise to appear at that hearing.
Y yo le estoy liberando hoy bajo su propio reconocimiento con la promesa de que usted va a asistir a esa audiencia.
You have written conditions of release to include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime.
Gracias. Hay condiciones prescritas para la liberación, que es no volver al sitio donde sucedió el crimen.
All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions, sir?
Todo eso se va a encontrar en sus documentos. ¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta, señor?
Sí. Quiero decir que yo traté de cambiar el producto con otro ticket y me puse nervioso y me fui de la tienda porque traía un ticket diferente y quiero pedir perdón. Me dio mucho miedo porque nunca he tenido ningún delito.
Yes, I would like to say that I tried to exchange the ticket, exchange the product with the ticket, but I noticed that I have a different ticket, so I left the store and got very nervous, very afraid, because it is the first time this is happening to me.
Okay. Okay, and you can present that evidence to the judge that will be hearing your case on March 5th at 1 p.m.
Muy bien, señor. Usted puede presentar esa evidencia al juez que va a estar llevando a cabo su audiencia en marzo 5 a la 1 p.m.
Okay.
If you step to your left, they'll give you that paperwork, sir.
Si usted da un paso hacia la izquierda, ellos le van a dar sus documentos, señor.
Okay.
Very well.
All right, I think that is everything for this morning. I appreciate your services, and you may disconnect.
My pleasure, man. Thank you so much for putting on your bridge. Hope we'll have a great day and a great week ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you. Can I get Lauren Bauer to the podium?
Morning, Your Honor. I thought that you were going to walk out on me.
Good morning. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Lauren Bauer, 12/11/47.
Thank you so much, sir. And it does look like we are here on a new Superior Court case. It does include one count of public sexual indecency with a minor present, a Class 5 felony, and 3 counts of public sexual indecency, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference on February 24th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing on February 26th at 8:30. You have a secured appearance bond of $25,000. If you post that bond, you'll be released to pretrial services with electronic monitoring. In addition to that, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, and you are not to have any contact with any minors. Did you have any questions?
Can I get a lower bail?
Not today, sir. Anything else?
And I have to go to electric monitoring for some reason?
Yes.
So that would mean that I can't leave the state?
You will have to follow all the rules that pretrial services provide you as it relates to that. However, you do have a pending felony, so you will not be able to leave the state of Arizona.
Okay, and it's a Class 5 felony?
Correct.
What does that carry?
I'm not sure. You'll have to speak with your attorney about that.
Okay, I disagree with this minor thing. I don't, minor present being anywhere in the building?
Minor present being able to see the act that took place. But you can speak with your attorney about that, okay? If you'll step to your left, they'll give you your paperwork.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. We will now stand in recess until the 8 a.m. calendar.
I'm going to step out to...
Sure. I'll just wait in the hallway for you. Thank you.
Blaylock?
It's already been said. It's just our copy.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, can I have your name, please?
Me? Yeah. Jeremy Bullock.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. We're here today to conduct an initial appearance. You're charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, discharging a firearm within city limits, misconduct with weapons, and being a prohibited possessor. Does the state have a recommendation in this matter?
Your Honor, Ryan Gant for the state. Yes, Judge, we're asking for a $50,000 bond plus pretrial services if that bond is posted, primarily due to both Mr. Bullock's age, him possessing a weapon. According to the interim, he's prohibited from doing so, and also just the sheer nature of the offense. While it may or may not have been an accident, it still poses great risk to the victim. I'd ask that the court impose a no contact order with the victim. Thank you.
All right. The attorney for the defendant?
All right. Yes, Your Honor. Apparently, the victim indicates that she would like contact with him. And again, he lives with his stepfather and his girlfriend lives with them. But she's fine with him being released from custody, which makes it sound like it's leaning toward an accidental discharge of a weapon. And looks like he's in school. I know he's looking for a job and he has a second interview on Thursday.
Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday.
All right, thank you. What I'm going to do is set this matter for a preliminary hearing on the 27th. I'm going to set the bond at $50,000 cash secured if posted and released through pretrial services. Based on the serious nature of this offense, I'm going to order no contact with any victims, not return to the victim's work or residence. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender. Standard release conditions will apply, including additional conditions of no firearms. If you have any firearms, sir, they must be surrendered to law enforcement. Your new court date is going to be the 27th, and I've appointed the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Your Honor.
Order. Can you take this back?
And what's it about? Who's next?
No. Is that what you?
Hi, can I have your name?
Stephen Lapata.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. We've been waiting 3 days to see you. You were in some type of quarantine. I'm Judge Hazel. Let me get your case up on the computer and we're going to talk about it, okay?
Okay.
You're here today charged with burglary and also aggravated domestic harassment. Do you understand why you're here today? Looks like you're being held on a parole violation. You have some Superior Court cases as well. Does the state have a recommendation in this matter?
Judge, the state's asking for a $35,000 bond plus pretrial services if that bond is posted. Judge, I assume the defense will argue that he has a parole hold, but I'm asking the court to give that very limited consideration because that parole hold is set to expire in April. If the court doesn't set a significant bond here and that parole hold expires, he may get out of custody. Judge, we are asking for a $35,000 bond due to his history of violent or assaultive behavior with the same victim. He's got prior convictions for domestic violence and pending new felony aggravated assault charges. Those post-date this offense, so I couldn't ask for a no bond, but I do think the court should still consider that. So we're asking for $35,000.
Okay, attorney for the defendant.
Judge, he does have a parole hold at this time, so we'd be asking for a bond, so that he's getting time credit.
Okay, I'm going to set the bond at $25,000 with the following conditions. Don't drive without a valid license, no alcohol, no drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms. If the bond is posted, I'm going to direct supervision through pretrial services. Again, no contact with any victims, don't return to their location. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender. I'm going to set this matter for a preliminary hearing on the 27th at 1:30 p.m. in Justice Court. So, sir, your next court date is the 27th at 1:30.
No.
I'm appointing a lawyer to represent you, and you'll be.
No, it says burglary. What's the burglary for?
Well, you can go over that with your lawyer, but I'm just letting you know what you're charged with. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck to you.
It's the new judge. He'll talk to your lawyer.
Good morning. Can I have your name?
Ricardo Arizaga.
Okay, sir. I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today because you have new charges of assault and disorderly conduct, domestic violence. Do you understand why you're here today?
Yes, sir.
Let me get your case up on the computer and we'll talk about it, okay? What I'm going to do is release you with the following conditions. I'm going to give you a new court date in Justice Court on March the 19th at 10:30 in the morning. Standard release conditions will apply, including no contact with any victims, don't return to the incident location, no firearms, no alcohol, no drugs, don't drive without a valid license. So you are going to be released, but you must appear in court on the 19th of March. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Sir, right here.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Frank Steve.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today for an initial appearance on two things. You have a warrant out of Tucson City Court, and you have a new shoplifting out of Justice Court. Do you understand why you're here today?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to, on your new Justice Court case, I'm going to release you and give you a new court date on March 19th at 8:30 in the morning. You're going to need to appear at that time or a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me finish the paperwork on that one. And that's going to be with Judge Foster.
Yeah.
Standard release conditions will apply, including don't return to the scene of the crime, have no contact with any victims. Do you understand those release conditions? Plus
Yes, sir.
standard release conditions. All right, let's go on to your Tucson City Court case then, okay?
Okay.
You had a warrant for failure to give a truthful name. I'm going to release you on that charge as well. I'm going to give you a court date on the 19th, but that'll be in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, so you need to appear at both of these court dates or a warrant will issue for your arrest.
Okay.
Well, you have a history of not showing up in the past, and probation has indicated that when you were released by probation before, you didn't show up. So make sure that you make sure.
Okay.
All right, you're going to be released. Just make sure you make your court date, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Suelta.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
My name is Gibran Sasueta.
You're here today on a charge of disorderly conduct. Do you understand why you're here?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to release you and give you a new court date on March 19th at 10:30 a.m. with Judge Foster in the Pima County Justice Court here in downtown Tucson. Standard release conditions will apply, including no contact with any victims, don't return to the scene, no firearms, no alcohol, no drugs. So you're going to be released March 19th at 10:30 in the morning is your new court date. Do you have any court questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you'll be released. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Well,
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Sean Falls.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again too.
Yeah, we talked yesterday.
We did.
Any recollection of what I told you yesterday?
You told me not to return to my house, but then on the paperwork it said it was misunderstanding by myself because on the paperwork it said don't go to the victim's address, but it did not say that I couldn't go to my own address. So I went there to get clothes. A neighbor, someone called the cops about a noise complaint. And it was a misunderstanding by my part. And
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do now is set your bond at $5,000 and give you a new court date of the 26th. That's a week from Wednesday with Judge Million. If you post the bond, you will be released. Standard release conditions will apply, including not to return to that location. So you are going to be held. Your next court date will be on the 26th. If you post the bond, your court date will be on the March 18th.
is it cash and secured or is it cash only?
It's cash and secured. You could do either.
All right.
Good luck to you.
Thanks.
come on.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Allison Govan.
B102. Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. We're here today to conduct your initial appearance. You're here today because you have new domestic violence charges. Also, you have a bunch of other prior cases from City of Tucson. Do you understand why you're here?
Yes.
You're on misdemeanor probation. What I'm going to do is set a $1,500 bond in your case, cash secured, with standard release conditions, including no contact with any victims, don't return to the scene of the crime. I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date is going to be February the 24th at 1:30 p.m. with Judge Million. That'll be a video appearance, but you will have an attorney for that next court date. Do you have any questions?
I'm not being released.
No. Likely probation is going to be filing a probation violation against you as well. Good luck to you.
Okay.
I was about the cahoots.
Garrett Lewis.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Trisha Garrett Lewis.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here to charge with disorderly conduct fighting. Do you understand why you're here today?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to release you. I'm going to give you a new court date of March the 17th at 9:30 a.m. in Tucson City Court with Judge Verona. You must appear at that time. Standard release conditions will apply in your case, but you must appear on March 17th. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions?
Now, can I return to my residence?
Yes, on your case you can.
Okay, I understand.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Miranda.
I was about the females.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Marco Antonio Miranda.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel.
Nice to meet you.
You're here today on charges of criminal damage, disorderly conduct, and driving with a suspended license. Do you understand why you're here today?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to release you. I'm going to give you a new court date on March the 18th at 9:30 in the morning in Tucson City Court. Standard conditions of release will apply, including no drugs, no alcohol, no firearms. Additional conditions are no contact with any victims, don't return to the scene of the crime. If you have property at that location, you can return with the police to get that property. Do you have any questions about that?
I just have one question, Your Honor. Firearm was confiscated, so I was just gonna see how I go about getting that back. Do I have to wait until my case is over?
You need to wait until your case is over, yes. Because I've ordered you not to possess any firearms, so yes, you need to wait until your case is over.
Okay, I understand.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Friend.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
LastChanceHomie.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today on charges of assault, domestic violence, criminal damage, and criminal trespass and disorderly conduct. I'm going to release you. I'm going to give you a new court date of February the 24th at 10 a.m. The conditions of release are standard conditions release with additional conditions: no alcohol, no drugs, no firearms. Additionally, I'm going to order you not return to the scene of the crime and not have any contact with any victims. If you have property at that location, you can return with the police to get that property. Do you have any questions for me?
You said it's February which day?
It's March.
February. Oh, March.
March 24th at 10 a.m. I'm going to send. We're going to give you a copy of that paperwork. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Good luck to you. I believe that's a Monday.
All right.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
My name is Daniela Villagrona.
So you're here today charged with assault, criminal damage, disorderly conduct. I am going to release you. Give you a new court date of Monday, March the 17th at 2:30 p.m. with Judge Granshaw and Tucson City Court. Standard release conditions will apply, including no firearms, no alcohol, no drugs. You're also ordered not to return to the scene of the crime and not have any contact with any victims. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, good luck to you.
Yeah. We're just doing LA.
So number 7 should be next, right?
Yes, right.
Okay.
Hi, can I have your name?
My name is Giovanna Garcia.
No.
What was that?
I guess you don't speak Spanish.
Yes, I do.
But I guess you do speak English.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then let me down.
Oh, no, yes, I'm bilingual.
Okay. She doesn't need an interpreter.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Garcia, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today charged with DV, domestic violence or disorderly conduct, I'm sorry. Do you understand why you're here today?
Yeah.
I'm going to release you on this charge
Okay.
and give you a new court date.
Okay, Your Honor.
Conditions of release are not to return to the scene of the crime and not have any contact with any victims. If you have property at that location, you can return with the police to get that property. So you're going to have a new court date in downtown Tucson on March the 19th at 10:30 in the morning with Judge Foster.
Okay.
If you fail to appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me just finish the paperwork and then you're going to be released. Just make sure you make your court dates and follow these release conditions.
Will do.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Hi, can I have your name, please?
Alicia Maria Obregón.
And Your Honor, this is the interpreter, and I believe Mrs. Obregón needs the Spanish speaker.
Yes.
The Spanish interpreter. Okay. Señora, ¿me puede repetir su nombre? Le habla el intérprete.
Alicia María Obregón. No sé si puse el otro.
Alicia Maria Obregón, and I don't remember if I put the other last name.
Okay, you're fine, ma'am. You're here today charged with criminal damage and disorderly conduct, domestic violence offenses.
Bueno, el día de hoy, señora, usted está aquí compareciendo ante el juez porque tiene acusaciones de alteración al orden público, daños a la propiedad y se consideran violencia doméstica.
And this is out of Tucson City Court. We do have a victim on the line and they wish to be heard, is that right? Okay, who is on the line to be heard in this case?
Y pregunta el juez, estas acusaciones salieron de Tucson City Court y creo que tenemos una víctima que quiere ser escuchada. ¿Quién es la víctima que está en la línea?
Your Honor, my name is Diego and I'm her son. I'm the one that was on the other side of the situation.
Okay, what would you like to tell me?
She is a good person, and that I know she didn't mean to do everything that she did. She has no criminal record or nothing. I just wish that she would get some help or like have a diversion program or something with like anger management. Like I said, she has no prior records. She's an overall good person, but she just has these lashes of emotion for no reason.
May I interpret, Your Honor?
Yeah, then I'll ask a question. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. Dice el señor, su señoría, mi nombre es Diego y yo soy la persona que estaba del otro lado de la situación. Le quiero decir que ella es una buena persona y no quiso hacer lo que hizo. Ella no tiene antecedentes penales previos y yo quisiera que ella recibiera ayuda como un programa alterno. Como le repito, ella no tiene antecedentes penales. Me gustaría que ella tomara una clase para poder controlar su enojo. En general es una muy buena persona, pero tiene estas detonaciones de emociones.
Okay, sir, the purpose of this hearing is to determine her release conditions. So are you objecting to her being released?
No, I'm not.
May I, Your Honor?
Yes, yeah, I'm waiting here.
Thank you. Dice el juez, bueno, señor, el propósito de esta audiencia es para determinar las condiciones de liberación. Usted se opone a que la señora quede libre. Y el señor Diego contesta que no se opone que quede libre usted.
Also, sir, do you have any objection to her returning to this location?
No, I'm not.
Dice, le pregunta el juez, ¿usted se opone a que la señora regrese a este lugar? Y él dice que no se opone.
Ma'am, I'm going to release you and give you a new court date of March the 20th.
Señora, la voy a dejar en libertad, pero usted va a tener una audiencia nueva en el juzgado el día 20 de marzo.
That's at 9 a.m. in the Tucson City Court.
Y eso va a ser a las 9 de la mañana en Tucson City Court, el juzgado de la ciudad.
Standard release conditions will apply, including no alcohol, no drugs, no firearms.
Y las condiciones de liberación aplican en general. Usted no debe de consumir bebidas alcohólicas, ni sustancias ilegales, ni poseer un arma de fuego.
Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
Señora, ¿tiene preguntas para el juez? No.
Okay, thank you. Good luck to you.
Muchas gracias y buena suerte.
So I do have a question. So she's released us now and she can get picked up in her phone?
She'll be released later today. I'm the judge. I don't control exactly what time that happens. You'd have to contact the jail.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, you have a good day.
Sorry.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Buenos días, ¿me puede dar su nombre, por favor?
María Pérez.
María Pérez.
Okay, good morning. I'm Judge Hazel.
Muy buenos días, yo soy el juez Hazel.
Mucho gusto, gracias, señor juez.
Nice to meet you and thank you, Your Honor.
You're here today on charges of assault and criminal damage.
Señora, usted está aquí porque tiene acusaciones de agresión y daños a la propiedad.
I'm going to release you and give you a new court date of April the 1st.
Señora, el día de hoy yo la voy a dejar en libertad, pero sí le voy a asignar una fecha de una audiencia nueva para abril 1.
Standard release conditions will apply.
Y sí aplican las condiciones de liberación en general.
Including not to return to the incident location.
Que incluyen, usted no puede regresar al lugar de los hechos.
And not to have any contact with any victims.
Y usted no puede tener ningún tipo de contacto con las víctimas.
So do you understand that you're being released?
¿Le queda claro que va a quedar en libertad?
Sí, señor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Señor juez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions for me, ma'am?
¿Tiene preguntas para mí, señora?
No, señor juez, gracias.
Your Honor, thank you. Que tenga muy buen día.
The next one should be number 7 in Spanish, right? Hopefully. For the interpreter, I think we have one more Spanish. We're just waiting to see.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Oh. 24, 36.
Have a seat right here.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Buenos días, ¿me puede dar su nombre, por favor?
Jorge Luis Campa Contreras Jr.
Jorge Luis Campos Contreras Jr.
Yeah, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today on a number of different things today. Let's work
Bueno,
our,
señor,
let's go through
yo
them.
soy el juez, yo soy el juez Hazel y usted tiene diferentes asuntos el día de hoy y los vamos a repasar uno por uno.
You're here today on charges of burglary, possession of burglary tools, possession of narcotic paraphernalia.
Señor, usted está el día de hoy porque tiene acusaciones de entrada ilegal, posesión de herramientas para entrar ilegalmente y también accesorios de droga.
You have a warrant for your arrest out of justice court for shoplifting.
También tiene una orden de arresto que se emitió de Justice Court por robo a tienda.
And then you have a warrant for your arrest for another shoplifting.
Y tiene otra orden de arresto por el delito de robo a tienda.
And then you have a warrant for your arrest out of Tucson City Court for shoplifting.
Y también tiene otra orden de arresto que se emitió de Tucson City Court también por robo a tienda.
As it relates to the felony, what is the state's position?
Y como se relaciona al delito grave, dígame la recomendación del fiscal.
Prosecutor still with us? We don't hear him.
He's on mute.
We need the prosecutor to unmute himself.
Sorry, Judge, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Sorry about that. I
It's all
spilled
right.
some coffee on my computer. Is this Mr. Contreras?
Yes, and I'm asking what your position on his felony. He has 3 misdemeanor warrants, but I was asking what your position on this one is.
Yes, thank you, Judge. I'm okay with his release on the felony, given the nature of the offense, which is him stealing 75 cents from a quarter machine.
Y dice la recomendación del fiscal, sí, su señoría, yo no me opongo al que el señor quede en libertad por el delito grave, porque en realidad es por la naturaleza del delito. Él robó 75 centavos de una máquina que da pesetas.
All right, what does the attorney for the defendant have to say?
We'd have no objection to that unless you're going to hold him on these misdemeanor cases.
Y dice el abogado defensor, nosotros no nos oponemos, señor, a menos de que usted quiera que se quede detenido por los delitos menores.
No, I guess I can release him on everything, even though he has a terrible history of appearing.
Bueno, dice el juez, quizás sí yo puedo ordenar que el señor salga libre, aunque el señor es muy malo para comparecer a sus audiencias futuras.
Sir, I'm going to appoint the office of the public defender to represent you. I'm going to give you a new court date of March the 10th.
Señor, le voy a asignar al defensor público para que lo represente y usted va a tener que comparecer a una audiencia el día 10 de marzo.
With standard release conditions, including no contact with any victims, don't return to the scene of the crime.
Y las condiciones de liberación en general aplican para usted y eso incluye que usted no puede tener contacto con las víctimas y no puede regresar a ningún lugar de los hechos.
Okay, let's go on to your misdemeanor warrants. The first one.
Ahora vamos a hablar de las órdenes de arresto por los delitos menores que usted tiene. Thank you, Judge.
The first one is out of South Tucson.
La primera que tiene es de el sur de Tucson.
I'm going to release you and give you a new court date of March the 4th.
Lo voy a liberar en ese caso y usted tiene una nueva audiencia el 4 de marzo.
That'll be at 10 in the morning.
A las 10 de la mañana.
All right, let's go on to your next warrant. You have a warrant out of Justice Court as well.
Ahora vamos a hablar de la otra orden de arresto que tiene de Justice Court.
I'm going to release you on that charge and give you a new court date of March the 19th.
También lo voy a liberar en esa acusación y le voy a fijar una audiencia para el 19 de marzo.
That's a Wednesday.
Es un miércoles
Will be at 8:30 in the morning
a las 8:30 de la mañana.
at the Justice Court in downtown Tucson.
Y es el Tribunal de Justice Court y se encuentra en el centro de Tucson.
Again, the conditions are not to return to the scene of the crime and not have any contact with any victims.
Y otra vez, las condiciones de liberación son de que usted no puede regresar al lugar del delito o de los hechos y no puede tener contacto con ninguna de las víctimas.
The last case you have is out of Tucson City Court.
Y la última acusación que usted tiene se emitió de Tucson City Court, del Tribunal de la Ciudad.
I'm going to release you on that charge.
Lo voy a liberar en esa acusación también.
And direct that you appear in Tucson City Court on March 17th, which is a Monday,
Y voy a ordenar que usted se tiene que presentar en Tucson City Court el día 17 de marzo. Es un lunes, señor,
at 9:30 a.m.
a las 9:30 de la mañana.
Sir, do you have any questions?
Señor, ¿usted tiene preguntas para el juez?
No, está bien.
No, it's all right.
All right, you have a good day, sir.
Que tenga muy buen día, señor.
Sorry I was delayed in speaking there, Judge. I dumped coffee all over my keyboard right before he walked out.
Okay, well,
Thank you for waiting.
hopefully you don't get electrocuted.
I'll try not to.
The interpreter check with the jail if there's any more Spanish speakers.
Yeah, let them come back. Does the jail know if there's any more Spanish speakers today?
No, there's not, Judge.
All right, thank you. Thank you to Madam Interpreter today for your patience.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
All right.
Judge, it's the jail. We're gonna go ahead and start with Boswell Robert, due to him being on a suicide watch, just to get him out of the way.
So we're going to do Mr. Boswell next?
Yes.
That's fine. The order doesn't matter to me. Sir, can I have your name, please?
Robert Boswell.
So you're here today for charges of making a terroristic threat. Does the state have a position on this matter?
Judge, I'm asking for a $75,000 bond plus pretrial services if that bond is posted. Judge, I would note he's got prior felony convictions. I think he lacks significant community ties given that those convictions are from Nebraska. And finally, I'd ask the court to see, I'd ask the court to look at the interim complaint, the last paragraph of it, which gives a justification for the police's request of a high bond. Essentially, Mr. Boswell has a history of making these kind of threats. It's a significant drain on police resources, but also is a problem with the community, disrupting services that are essential to the community. So we're asking for a $75,000 bond.
Thank you.
No.
Attorney for the defendant?
Judge, he's 6 feet to disabled, it sounds like there's some mental health issues here.
Okay. What I'm going to do is set a $50,000 bond. I'm going to set this matter for a preliminary hearing on the 27th at 1:30 p.m. Standard release conditions will apply in this matter. I'm going to direct that if bond is posted, that he be released through pretrial services. So, sir, your new court date is a week from Thursday for a preliminary hearing. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
Okay, good luck to you. Hi, can I have your name, please? Are you Miss Anguno?
Yes.
Okay, hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today charged with aggravated DUI, on suspended license DUI with minors in the child abuse, and criminal damage. Does the state have a position on this case?
Judge, I'm asking for a $35,000 bond plus pretrial services if that bond is posted, primarily due to the inherent nature of the offense. Her license is already suspended for a DUI. There were multiple children in the car, and her blood alcohol concentration from the breath test they gave was a 0.286, which, as the court knows, is extremely high. So for those reasons, we're asking for a $35,000 bond.
Okay, attorney for the defendant.
Judge, the DUI, her previous DUI was in 2007, which is quite a while ago. It appears that she lives with her mother and has access to other transportation to court.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to take the following actions in this case. Going to set a preliminary hearing on the 27th at 1:30 p.m. in Justice Court. I'm going to set the bond at $10,000 cash secured. I'm going to direct that if bond is posted to be released through pretrial. Standard conditions will apply, especially no alcohol, no drugs, no firearms, no contact with any victims, and don't return to the incident location. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, ma'am. Your new court date is a week from Thursday, the 27th at 1:30 p.m. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, good luck to you.
Let's see if I can do this.
Campbell.
Campbell.
Can I have your name, please?
Marlon Campbell.
Okay, you're here today on two different things. You have a new charge out of Justice Court of disorderly conduct. I'm Judge Hazel. You have a new charge of prohibited possessor of a weapon out of felony matter. Does the state have a position on this matter?
Judge, I'm asking for a $25,000 bond based on his priors and the allegations here.
Okay, and can you go over his prior history with me that you're concerned about?
Yes, Judge, he has multiple prior felony convictions. Most recently, he served a 10-year prison sentence on forgery, getting out only in 2021. Just the fact that he has a significant history there, three prior felony convictions, multiple prison sentences, and then the allegations here of him abusing the victim and possessing a weapon concern the state.
Okay, the attorney for the defendant.
Judge, it appears he's just here for a day, that he lives in Texas. Aside from that, we don't have any additional information and rely on the information in the report.
All right, on the felony matter, I'm going to set the bond at $20,000 and set the matter for a preliminary hearing on the 27th of February, a week from Thursday at 1:30 p.m. I'm going to impose standard conditions, including no contact with any victims, don't return to the incident location. I'm going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender. Conditions of release are don't drive without a valid license, no alcohol, no drugs, no domestic violence. Again, no firearms, and if the defendant does post bond and is released, he must surrender firearms to law enforcement. Let's go on to the Justice Court misdemeanor then. On that charge, I am going to release him and give him a new court date of the 5th at 9 a.m. That's in the Ajo Justice Court. So, sir, you're going to have court next week. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. In Ajo?
Yes. Well, they'll have to transport you for that or get you on video. But you'll have court in Tucson next Thursday, a week Thursday.
Next Thursday.
All right.
And I do.
Good luck to you.
I do the bond.
Later, $40,000.
And that's for the kitchen, yeah.
No. Talk to a bail bond.
Okay.
And send up policy that was not blocked and flooding on cities.
Do we have more victims? Or... Hi, can I have your name, please?
Anthony Duarte.
Okay, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today on charges of possession of narcotic drugs for sale, possession of dangerous drugs for sale, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Does the state have a position on this case?
Yes, Judge, I'm asking for a $25,000 bond plus pretrial if that's posted. I would note there's a variety of drugs here and a gun. He's got multiple prior felony convictions with a pretty significant prison sentence ending in 2019. So we're asking for a $25,000 bond.
Attorney for the defendant?
Judge, it appears he's a lifelong resident and he is currently living with his aunt and uncle.
Thank you. I'm going to do the following. I'm going to set the matter for a preliminary hearing on the 27th at 1:30 p.m. I'm going to set the bond at $10,000 cash security if bond is posted to supervision through pretrial. Conditions of release are standard conditions, including no firearms, no alcohol, no drugs. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you, sir. Your next court date will be the 27th at 1:30 p.m. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hold on. Judge, it's the jail. It appears he has got some added charges and will be seen later on in the evening.
Okay. All right. So the judge tonight will see you again, sir, on something else. Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. Have a good day.
All right, sir.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Danielle Fuentes?
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're charged with 2 counts of domestic violence, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, disorderly conduct with a weapon, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Does the state have a recommendation in this case?
Yes, Judge, I'm asking for a $50,000 bond plus pretrial if that's posted. Based on the nature of the offense and the continual risk she is to the victim, the fact that not only one weapon but 2, a machete and a gun, were used here, as well as a domestic violence prior and a pending domestic violence case, which she has a warrant on, by the way. The victim also requests a high bond. She says she doesn't feel safe. I would note there's a lot of risk factors here. There's a new violent criminal activity flag. I have significant safety concerns for the victim. In addition to the bond, I would ask the court order her not to return to the location and an immediate no contact order with the victim. Thank you.
Attorney for the defendant?
Can you just give me a second, Judge?
Absolutely.
Your Honor, she can stay with her grandmother who, where her mother does not live. So she has a place to stay where, she's not living with the victim. She's hoping to be released because she has a GCS case pending.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to set the bond at $50,000 and give her a new court date of preliminary hearing on the 27th at 1:30 p.m. Standard release conditions will apply with additional conditions. No contact with any victims. Don't return to the scene of the crime. Also, no firearms, no weapons of any time. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender. Ma'am, your next court date is going to be the 27th at 1:30 p.m. That's a week from Thursday. Good luck to you.
Patterson.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Jeremy Allen Hardison.
Okay, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today on charges of possession of narcotic drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia, prescription, possession of a prescription drug only. And then you also have a warrant for a DUI out of justice court. Does the state have a position on release in this matter?
I'm okay with his release to pretrial, Judge. He appears to be eligible for screening for steps.
What's the defense's position, and is defense okay with an extended preliminary hearing?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are not.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, counsel. I'm sorry.
Yes. We'll waive the prelim.
Thank you. All right, sir, on your felony charges, I am going to release you. Give you a new court date for a step hearing, which is a diversion program that can lead to dismissal of your case. I'm also setting an extended preliminary hearing date of April the 3rd. Standard release conditions will apply, including no alcohol, no drugs. Don't return to the scene of the crime. So on this charge, you're going to be released. Let's go on to your next case. You have a warrant out of justice court. I'm going to release you on that charge and give you a new court date of March the 15th. March the 25th, I'm sorry. That'll be at 10 a.m. in the Justice Court in downtown Tucson. That will be with Judge Ball. Standard release conditions will apply in this case. You must appear at that time as well. All right, let's go on to your warrant from the city of Tucson. You have a warrant out of the city of Tucson. Charges out of the city of Tucson are for assault. I'm going to release you on that charge and give you a new court date of March the 24th at 9:30 a.m. in Tucson City Court in downtown Tucson. You must appear at that time or a warrant will issue for your arrest. I'm going to impose standard release conditions in that charge as well. Do you understand you're being released on all of your charges, sir?
Yeah.
You understand you need to make your court dates?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you.
It has to be in court on February 26th, or you not be eligible for the probation program. Yes, sir.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Mark Anthony Hoyser.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today on a charge of unlawful flight from law enforcement. Do you understand why you're here today?
Yes, sir.
All right, does state have a position in this matter?
Judge, I'm asking for a $10,000 bond. The allegation notes he fled from officers at a high rate of speed. He has a parole absconsion warrant out for him and multiple prior felony convictions.
Okay.
I never ran from them.
No, don't talk about the case. Okay.
Does the defense have a position?
He's got a parole hold, so we'd ask that you set a bond so he gets time credit.
Okay, I'm going to set a bond in the amount of $5,000. I'm going to impose standard release conditions. I'm going to set this matter for a preliminary hearing on February the 27th at 1:30 p.m. I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent the defendant. Sir, your next court date is a week from Thursday the 27th at 1:30. Good luck to you.
Okay. After this is like after my parole.
I'll talk to a lawyer about it. I'm going to hear from DOC Rivens.
State.
Yeah, don't post your bond because you have a parole.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
There's a possibility that we get the bond reduced.
You'll talk to your lawyer.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thanks. Hi, can I have your name, please?
Now, Hunter.
Hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today charged with disorderly conduct with a deadly weapon, discharging a fire alarm within city limits. Purpose of this hearing is for me to set release conditions. What's the state's position on this matter?
Judge, I'm asking for a $25,000 bond plus pretrial services if that's posted. Judge, the facts here are kind of odd, and the fact that she's over 50 years old and doesn't have any history is good, but the state has concerns about her discharging a firearm in Walmart's parking lot. So for those reasons, we're asking the court to impose a bond here.
Attorney for the defendant?
Your Honor, we're asking that you release her to the supervision of pretrial services. It appears that she will not be in the same residence as the alleged victim, and the alleged victim does not object from her release from custody. She indicates she's working as a housekeeper, and as the prosecutor noted, she doesn't have prior criminals.
All right, thank you. I'm going to set a $10,000 secured bond. If bond is posted, I'll order release through pretrial. I'm going to order if she has any other firearms and she is released that she surrender those to law enforcement. I'm going to set the preliminary hearing on the 27th at 1:30 p.m. in Justice Court. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent her. Standard other release conditions will apply, including don't return to the incident location, don't have any contact with any victims. Ma'am, your next court date is a week from Thursday, the 27th. You must appear at that time if you post the bond, otherwise you'll be transported to court for that hearing. Good luck to you, ma'am.
Yeah, you have that signed. You have it. You let out today. If you can post the bond, it's $10,000. And then this you got to talk to the bail bonds. Okay. And thank you.
Can I have your name, please?
Jeff Kalida.
All right, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today on charges of being a prohibited possessor of a weapon. Do you understand why you're here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
State have a position on release in this matter?
Yes, Judge, I'm asking for a $35,000 bond. He's on probation out of Graham County, has a probation warrant there, multiple prior felony convictions, multiple probation revocations. He can't seem to follow the court's orders or probation's orders. Additionally, all of his priors are from Safford, so he lacks significant ties to Tucson.
Attorney for the defendant?
He's detained without bond, so we'd ask that you set a bond so he's getting time credit.
So I'm going to set your bond at $10,000 and give you a new court date of the 27th for a preliminary hearing. That's a week from Thursday.
He got transferred over to, they told me he got transferred to Pima County.
Okay, but we might be supervising Pima County, but the case is.
Sir, if I could have your attention, please.
Yes, sir.
Your next court date will be on the 27th of February at 1:30 here in Justice Court. I'm appointing the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Standard release conditions will apply, or I'm sorry, the Office of the Legal Defender to represent you. Standard conditions will apply with additional conditions: no firearms, no weapons. If you have weapons and you are released, you must surrender those to law enforcement. Thank you and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Jose Ortiz.
You're here today on a charge of unlawful discharge of a firearm. Do you understand why you're here today?
Yes.
The state have a position?
I'm asking for a $20,000 bond plus pretrial services, Judge, primarily based on the allegations listed in the interim complaint.
Attorney for the defendant?
It appears that he's got no prior felony criminal history. Aside from that, we rely on the information from the report.
All right, sir, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to set a $5,000 bond and set your matter for a preliminary hearing on the 27th at 1:30 p.m. Standard release conditions will apply, including no firearms, no weapons. If you are released, you must surrender all firearms to law enforcement. But your new court date on that charge is going to be the 27th at 1:30 p.m. You also have a warrant out of the city of Tucson. On that charge, I'm going to set the matter for a video review on the 25th and appoint an attorney to represent you. That's going to be at 1:45 p.m. If you are released prior to that date, you must appear in court on the 25th at 2 p.m. So I am releasing on you on your city court case. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Richardson. I'll see you here.
Hi, can I have your name, please?
Anthony Richardson.
All right, you're here today on charges of aggravated assault and criminal damage and possession of drug paraphernalia, and then you have a warrant from another court. Does the state have a position on this matter?
Yes, Judge, on the aggravated assault case, we're asking for a $50,000 bond plus pretrial services. He's got numerous prior felony convictions, some of them violent, including an aggravated assault and an armed robbery. That spans over almost 30 years. But primarily, Judge, the state's concerned about the allegations where he threw a rock at a minor child in the car next to him. So we're asking for $50,000 in that case. And then, Judge, I'm asking for $5,000 in the criminal damage case.
Okay. Attorney for the defendant?
Judge, we don't have anything to add to the information in the report.
Okay, thank you. So on the criminal damage one, I'm going to set the bond at $2,500 and set the matter for a preliminary hearing on the 27th at 1:30 p.m. Standard release conditions will apply, appointing the Office of the Public Defender. Obviously, if a bond is posted, supervision through pretrial services. All right, let's go on to the other case now. The other cases. On the aggravated assault, I am going to set the bond at $25,000. Set the same preliminary hearing date, appoint counsel as well. Again, if bond is posted, pretrial services. All right, sir, let's go on to your last case. You have a warrant out of Tucson, South Tucson. On that one, I am going to release you, give you a new court date of March the 4th. So good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, can I have your name, please?
Yes, Your Honor, it is Trenton Turner.
Yeah, hi, I'm Judge Hazel. You're here today charged with disorderly conduct with a weapon and unlawful discharge of a weapon within city limits. Does the county attorney have a recommendation in this matter?
Judge, I'm recommending a $15,000 bond plus pretrial services if that bond is posted. Judge, I'm asking for conditions to include behavioral health monitoring and treatment as directed by pretrial services. I'm concerned about the use of a weapon here, Judge. I think ultimately this is probably a cry for help, and I hope Mr. Turner is able to get some. But in the meantime, I'm asking the court to impose a bond.
Okay. Attorney for the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. He's got no prior misdemeanor domestic violence or felony of any sort. Where the alleged victim here indicates that she does not object to his release. She wants to have contact with him, and she did not sustain any injuries. And he is working full-time and is a lifelong resident. We'd ask that you release to his supervision of pretrial services.
Please. I do have a full-time job.
Sir, please. We have an alleged victim on the phone. Can I have your name, please? I'm sorry, are you still there, ma'am?
Kelsey Burrell.
Okay. What would you like to tell me, ma'am?
I just want to reiterate what I told the officers, that I don't, want to press charges. I never felt threatened by him, and he was alone in the house when the incident occurred. I'm just really concerned for his safety and want him to get professional help. He lost his dad recently, and it's been really hard on him. I'd also like to request that there not be an order of no contact. I don't want him to feel alone.
Okay, thank you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set a $5,000 secured bond in this case. I'm going to set a new court date of the 27th at 1:30 p.m. for a preliminary hearing. Standard conditions of release will apply in this case, including if bond is posted, supervision through pretrial and following all their recommendations. Additional conditions would include no firearms, no weapons, no alcohol, no drugs. Sir, if you do post the bond and released, I'm ordering that you do surrender all weapons to law enforcement. So your new court date is going to be the 27th at 1:30 p.m. in the Justice Court here in downtown Tucson. And the Office of the Public Defender has been appointed to represent you. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
What do we have left? Okay. Sir, can I have your name, please?
Omri Eddie Luisto.
All right, sir, I'm Judge Hazel. You're charged here with burglary. Does the state have a position in this matter?
I'm asking for a $5,000 bond, Judge. He's got a history of similar charges, a history of failing to appear, and several probation revocations, which demonstrate his inability to comply.
State or defense have a position?
Judge appears he has ties to the community. He's lived in Arizona his whole life. He is unemployed, so we'd ask for a reasonable bond that he would be able to post.
All right, thank you. I'm going to set this matter for a preliminary hearing on the 27th in the Ajo Justice Court in Ajo. I'm going to set a $2,500 cash secured bond if bond is posted, released through pretrial services. Standard release conditions will apply, including no firearms, no weapons, no alcohol, no drugs, no contact with any alleged victims, don't return to the scene of the crime, and I am appointing the Office of the Public Defender in this matter. So your next court date is going to be the 27th. If you post the bond, you must appear at the court in Ajo. If you do not post the bond, you'll be transported to court. Good luck to you, sir. Anything further from the county attorney this morning?
No, thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
Anything further from defense?
No, have a good day.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, Osceola County. Can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Assistant Public Defender, your name for the please?
Trevor Darnell.
Commissioner Darnell.
Jasmine Scarborough for the state.
Thank you, Ms. Scarborough. And who's our pretrial release officer?
Diego Zuniga for pretrial release.
Mr. Aniga?
Zuniga. Z-U-N-I-G-A. Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, welcome everyone to initial appearance. At initial appearance, I'm going to be making a determination as to whether there's probable cause for your initial arrest. If you're here for a warrant, either a violation of probation allegation or another allegation that was initiated by warrant, another judge has already found probable cause. After we have that discussion, we're going to be talking about getting an attorney on board for you if you qualify and if you are requesting the services of the Public Defender's Office. After we have that discussion, I am going to talk about conditions of bond. If you qualify for a bond, that'll get you back to your lives while these cases are pending. In making a probable cause determination, I have to read the charging document, the arrest report, and I have to assume that everything in the arrest report is true and correct. I understand many of you may disagree with some of the things in your charging document. Completely understand that. Today's not a day for that discussion. Save that discussion for your discussion with your attorney and your trial judge, which is unlikely to be me. And my name is Keith Carson. I'm one of the circuit judges here, and I'm going to be doing initial appearance today. We're going to take some of our...
And Your Honor, correct?
Yes.
Actually requested if you would hear the John Doe case first. Somebody asked for John Doe.
Oh. He asked for John Doe first.
All right. Thanks. John Doe 3376.
And he's approaching from the back, Your Honor.
Thanks. Thanks. Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Can you tell me your name?
James Porter.
Thank you, Mr. McWhorter. Mr. McWhorter, you are here based on an allegation of resisting an officer without violence. Assuming what's in the charging document is true and correct, which I must, in making that determination, I find probable cause. Your bond's going to be set in the amount of $500, and I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent your interest. Thanks.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Will you be accepting that name for the record?
Name that he's been identified as Jerry McWhorter.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Thanks. Mr. McWhorter, do you want me to appoint the Office of the Public Defender?
I don't need one. I'm going to trial with this because I didn't do nothing wrong.
I hear you. So that's back to that thing about we're not going to talk about the facts of the case or dispute what's in the charging document. I just was trying to see if you wanted an attorney. I think they got your mic off.
I said I represent myself the last time.
All right, Mr. McWhorter, I'm going to withdraw the appointment of the Office of the Public Defender, and you can have that discussion with your county court judge when you see him. Thanks. All right, we've identified Gilmer, Areche, Gonzalez, Yoel, Montverde, Garcia, Victor Morales, Orduna, and Yeoman Perez Martinez. Mr. Donnell, have you identified anybody else that needs the assistance of an interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor. There was did you say Galacio Sanchez Garcia?
Nope, I don't have WAP. Pull that out.
Okay. As well as the reset Mr. Pedro Maldonado Barberina.
It'll be last, right? Yes. All right, I found both of those.
And corrections actually asked if you are going to Spanish, if you would address Mr. Barberino first.
Sure. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Laura Arroyo, State Certified Interpreter and previously sworn.
Good afternoon, Ms. Arroyo. Ms. Arroyo, we are doing initial appearances. You'll be doing the interpreting over the intercom system.
Yes, Your Honor.
First case that we have is Pedro Maldonado Barberina. Hello, Mr. Maldonado Barberina.
Buenos días, señor Maldonado Barberina.
Buenos días.
Good day.
Sir, you are charged with the allegation of trespass after warning.
Señor, se le acusa a usted de haber cometido el acto de entrada ilícita después de haber sido apercibido.
I find probable cause.
Se determina que existen indicios racionales de criminalidad.
Do you wish for me to appoint an attorney to represent you?
¿Desea usted que se le designe un abogado para que le asista en este caso?
Sí, su honor.
I'm sorry, the interpreter could not hear. ¿Qué dijo usted?
Que sí al juez, sí, su honor.
Yes, I agree, Your Honor.
Exactly.
I'm going to provisionally appoint the Office of the Public Defender, ask you to fill out a financial document. I suspect that you'll qualify, but if you'll fill out that piece of paper for me, I will put it in your file to formalize the appointment.
Entonces, de manera provisional, se le designa defensor público. Le pido a usted que, por favor, llene el affidavit económico para ver si usted reúne requisitos para esta designación. Una vez que lo haya hecho, se le incluirá en el expediente para que formalmente conste en actas.
Your bond is set in the amount of $250.
Se fija la fianza en $250.
You may not go back to the 7-Eleven store at 4015 West Vine Street.
Prohibido usted regresar a la tienda 711 ubicada en la 4015 West Vine Street.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Court date's on the bend.
La próxima vista es por señalamiento judicial.
State of Florida versus Gilmer Areche Gonzalez.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir.
Buenas tardes, señor.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you were arrested pursuant to a warrant.
Señor, usted detenido en conformidad a una orden de arresto.
Judge Sanders Morency found probable cause for installing a tracking device on a person's property.
La juez Sanders Morency determinó que existe indicios de criminalidad por instalar un dispositivo de rastreo en el I'm sorry, where was it installed? I apologize, Your Honor.
Installing a tracking device on a person's property.
Por haberlo instalado en propiedad ajena.
We're having some difficulty with your microphone, Ms. Arroyo.
Is it cutting in and out?
It was. And
I apologize.
There was some static. Would you repeat that one more time?
Sure, no problem. La juez Sanders Morrissey determinó que existe indicios de criminalidad para acusarle a usted de haber instalado un dispositivo de rastreo en propiedad ajena.
Your bond is set in the amount of $5,000.
Se fija fianza en $5,000.
You may have no contact whatsoever with Ms. Mesa Cruz.
Prohibido usted ningún tipo de trato en absoluto con la señora Nessa Cruz.
I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent your interests.
Se le designa defensor público para asistirle a usted en la causa.
No contact means no contact. You can't show up at her home, her employment, her school. You may not have any contact through third parties or social media. Do you understand?
Cuando se le dice condición de trato, eso quiere decir en absoluto. Usted no puede pasar por la vivienda de ella, por su lugar de empleo, a cualquier escuela donde asista a ella. No puede comunicarse a través de terceros ni en redes sociales. ¿Entendido?
Sí, entendido.
Understood.
Mr. Darnell, are you hearing the static like we are in the courtroom?
It comes up every now and then, Your Honor, but then it seems to clear
Your
out.
microphone's not on.
The static does. Can you hear me now, Your Honor?
I can hear you now.
On my end, Your Honor, whatever is happening at the jail cuts me out. That's what I'm having on my end. That's why I keep asking them to.
Understood. Should we call back and maybe get a better connection?
Sure, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Your client refused. I don't know why.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, certified Spanish interpreter, previously sworn.
Good afternoon, Ms. Daniel. We are doing initial appearances. You'll be doing the interpreting over the intercom system. Mr. Areche Gonzalez, we were discussing that you may not have contact with the victim and the conditions of that.
Señor González, estuvimos hablando de que se le ha prohibido todo tipo de contacto con la víctima y las condiciones.
Did you understand what was translated for you?
¿Usted entendió lo que se le tradujo?
Sí, y estoy de acuerdo. No quiero verla en mi vida esa persona.
Yes, and I agree. I do not want to see that person again in my life.
Thank you. All right, court has appointed the Office of the Public Defender. Do we have dates?
On demand, Your Honor.
Hemos designado al abogado de oficio, tenemos las fechas. La próxima audiencia se anunciará por señalamiento judicial.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Did you in that last orders maintain a separate residence or a do not return to residence, or did you just?
They don't live together. They don't live together.
Oh, okay, perfect. It was just a note. Thank you.
State of Florida versus Yoel Monteverde Garcia.
PD approved.
Sí, buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Buenas tardes, señor.
Sir, you've been arrested and accused of DUI.
Señor, usted fue puesto bajo arresto y se le acusa de conducir bajo los efectos.
I find probable cause.
Determinó que existen indicios de criminalidad.
Your bond is set in the amount of $1,000.
La fianza es de $1,000.
I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent your interests.
Se designa la oficina del abogado de oficio para que les represente.
You may not drive without a valid driver's license as a condition of your bond.
Como condición de la fianza, se le prohíbe conducir sin una licencia válida.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Next court date will be February 27th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. If out on bond will be March 10th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E.
La fecha de la próxima audiencia será el 27 de febrero a las 8:30 de la mañana en la sala 4E. Si se encuentra en libertad para esa fecha, la audiencia entonces será el 10 de marzo a las 8:30 de la mañana en la sala 4E.
Thank you.
Gracias.
State of Florida versus Victor Morales Orduna, 25MM0002.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir.
Buenas tardes, señor.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you were accused of battery domestic violence related.
Señor, usted se le acusa de agresión física por violencia doméstica.
Judge Beasley found probable cause.
El juez Beasley determinó que existen indicios de criminalidad.
This is for an event alleged to have occurred back on January 1st.
La fecha del presunto incidente fue el 1 de enero.
I will set bond in the amount of $1,000 with the following conditions.
La fianza es de $1,000 con las siguientes condiciones.
You're not to have contact with the alleged victim in this case.
Se le prohíbe todo tipo de contacto con la presunta víctima en este caso.
You must maintain separate residences until this case gets sorted out.
Se le prohíbe la convivencia hasta que se resuelva el caso.
If you have any personal property at that location, I'll allow you to return one time with law enforcement to get personal property while the case is being handled.
Si usted tiene pertenencias allí, se le permitirá regresar en una ocasión acompañado de las autoridades a recogerlas.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Next court date's on demand.
La fecha de la próxima audiencia se anunciará por señalamiento judicial.
State of Florida versus Yolman Perez Martinez, 2025 CT 699.
PD approved.
Good afternoon.
Buenas tardes.
Sir, you were arrested based on an allegation of operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Señor, usted fue puesto bajo arresto ante una acusación de conducir un vehículo de motor sin licencia válida.
Pursuant to the new law, I have considered your immigration status pursuant to 903.046.
Según la nueva ley, he tomado en consideración su estado migratorio según la ley 903.406.
I find this is a non-violent driving offense.
Determino que este es un ilícito no violento relacionado a la conducción.
You'll be granted a bond in the amount of $500.
Se le concede una fianza por la cantidad de $500.
As a condition of bond, you are not to drive without a valid driver's license.
Como condición de la fianza, se le prohíbe conducir sin una licencia válida.
The Office of the Public Defender is appointed.
Se designa el abogado de oficio para que los represente.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Next court date will be February 27th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. If out on bond will be March 10th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E.
La fecha de la próxima audiencia será el 27 de febrero a las 8:30 de la mañana en la sala 4E. Si se encuentra en libertad bajo fianza, será el 10 de marzo a las 8:30 de la mañana en la sala 4E.
State of Florida versus Gelacio Sanchez Garcia.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, sir.
Buenas tardes, señor.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you were arrested based on an allegation of operating a motor vehicle with a driver's license that it is expired for over 6 months.
Señor, usted se le ha puesto bajo arresto ante una acusación de conducir con una licencia que se encuentra suspendida ya por más de 6 meses.
Pursuant to the new law, I have considered your immigration status.
Según la nueva ley, he tomado en consideración su situación migratoria.
I Find that this is a non-violent driving offense.
He determinado que este ilícito es uno no violento relacionado a la conducción.
Finds probable cause and sets bond in the amount of $500.
Determinó que existen indicios de criminalidad y se fija fianza en la cantidad de $500.
I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent your interests.
Se designa el abogado de oficio para que les represente.
As a condition of your bond, you may not drive without a valid driver's license.
Como condición de la fianza, se le prohíbe conducir sin una licencia válida.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Next court date will be February 27th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E. If out on bond will be March 10th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E.
La fecha de la próxima audiencia será el 27 de febrero a las 8:30 de la mañana en la sala 4E. Si se encuentra libre bajo fianza, será el 10 de marzo a las 8:30 de la mañana en la sala 4E.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Madam Interpreter, we have a witness that is present that's also going to need your assistance. Will you stick with us for one more case?
Yes.
Thanks. He'll be doing the interpreting through the podium in courtroom 4F.
Oh, so you want me to connect to the headset at 4F?
I don't know if Mr. Delgado, State of Florida versus Benjamin Delgado, 25MM365. Does he need the assistance of an interpreter?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thanks. I think our witness does. So you're welcome to, well, let's just do it over the intercom system. Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Delgado. Mr. Delgado, you are here based on an allegation of battery, domestic violence related. I've read the charging affidavit and do find probable cause for your arrest. Court's going to appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent your interests. We do have a witness present. Ma'am, would you tell me your name, please?
Señora, por favor, dígame su nombre completo.
Buenas tardes, señor. Mi nombre es Norelki Brillante.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Norelki Brillante.
Ms. Brillante, you are listed as the alleged victim in the police report.
Señora Brillante, usted figura como la presunta víctima en el documento acusatorio.
I'm going to be making some decisions as to a condition of bond from Mr. Delgado.
Ahora voy a tomar unas decisiones en cuanto a las condiciones de la fianza del señor Delgado.
Do you wish to give me some information as to whether you would like to have contact with Mr. Delgado?
¿Desea usted decirme, por favor, si desea tener contacto con el señor Delgado?
No tengo ningún problema con él.
Yes, I have no problems with him.
Right. Thank you. Have there been any allegations of domestic violence in the past?
Gracias. En el pasado, ¿habían ocurrido incidentes de violencia doméstica?
En el pasado nunca ha existido violencia doméstica. Simplemente ha pasado 2 veces y como nosotros tenemos una relación por 4 años, yo considero que no es una persona agresiva donde durante 4 años ha pasado. Sí, pero yo me gustaría que ese tipo de cosas no vuelvan a pasar, por eso yo estoy.
Well, no, there has not been any domestic violence incidents in the past. Things like this have only happened twice in our 4-year relationship. So I consider that he's not an aggressive person because of this. And I would not like something like this to happen again. That's why I'm here.
Do you wish to have him return to the family home if you live together?
Si ustedes viven juntos, ¿desea que él regrese al hogar? Yes, he can return.
Are you in fear of Mr. Delgado if he returns?
Si el señor Delgado regresa, ¿usted le temería a él? No.
Do you have a means of communication to contact law enforcement, such as a cell phone or a landline?
¿Usted tiene manera de comunicarse con las autoridades, ya bien sea un teléfono celular o una línea de la casa?
¿Me puede repetir la pregunta?
Could you please repeat the question?
Do you have a phone at home that you could call law enforcement if you were concerned about further acts of domestic violence?
Si usted tuviese alguna preocupación de un incidente futuro de violencia doméstica, ¿tiene usted acceso a un teléfono en el hogar a través del cual pueda llamar a las autoridades? Sí. Yes.
Thank you. The state of Florida will have an opportunity to ask you some questions as well.
Ahora la fiscalía le tendrá la oportunidad de hacerle preguntas, señora.
Ms. Scarborough, any questions for this witness?
Licenciada, ¿tiene alguna pregunta para este testigo?
No, Judge.
No, su señoría.
Mr. Donnell, any questions?
Licenciada, ¿alguna pregunta?
Did you inquire if she was in fear of Mr. Delgado, Your Honor? No questions from defense.
No tengo preguntas.
Ma'am, the court's going to make a determination that you are in the best possible position to advise the court as to whether you are in fear of Mr. Delgado.
Señora, este juzgado va a tomar la determinación que es usted quien está en la mejor posición de decirnos si el señor Delgado es un peligro.
At your request, the court will grant non-hostile contact between you and Mr. Delgado.
Ante su solicitud vamos a conceder el contacto, pero sin hostilidad.
Mr. Delgado, non-hostile contact means exactly what it sounds like. You may not put your hands on her without her permission. No threats, no threats through social media or any other form. Do you understand?
Copy. Understand.
Thank you. Bond will be set in the amount of $1,500. With those conditions, he will be permitted to return to the location where they live on Quail Park Terrace. Thank you, ma'am.
Gracias, señora.
Next court date's on demand.
Madam Interpreter, thank you for your assistance.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State of Florida versus Malia Price.
Application out of county.
Hello, Ms. Bryce.
Hello.
You're here with us based on an out-of-county warrant. It's out of Orange County. It's the allegation was failing to appear. Can't tell in front of who, but they did issue a bond. The bond is set in the amount of $2,500. So you're bondable. If you choose not to bond out, Orange County will come get you within 24 hours. Thank you. State of Florida versus Cesar Alvarado.
Approved.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, you were arrested based on an allegation that you missed court with Judge Epperson. That would have been way back on October 11th, 2023. It was for a pretrial. Can't tell. Yeah, it was an allegation of criminal mischief. He did set a bond in this case. You have a bond set in the amount of $1,000. And
Next court date will be March 12th, 8:30 a.m., courtroom 4E.
are you requesting the services of the Public Defender's Office?
Yes.
All right. Thanks. Do you qualify? Thanks. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent your interest. Thanks. State of Florida versus Juan Colazo Arroyo,
Application found to the PD's office.
2024 CF 3959. Hello, Mr. Garcia.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Right, your client, Mr. Colazo Arroyo, is here based on allegations of aggravated assault on a person 65 years of age or older, battery on a person 65 years of age or older, and hindering communication to law enforcement. I have reviewed the warrant. Judge Beasley found probable cause for those allegations. You wish to be heard as to conditions of bond.
No, Your Honor, just reasonable bond and any reasonable terms of.
Understood. Bond count 1 is going to be set in the amount of $2,500. Bond count 2 is going to be set in the amount of $2,500. Bond count 3 is going to be set in the amount of $1,000. As a condition of those bonds, he is not to return to the scene where this is alleged to have occurred, which is the mechanic shop. He's not to have any contact whatsoever with the alleged victim. He's not to possess any weapons or firearms.
Yes, sir.
Next court date's on demand.
Thank you.
See you. Thank you.
Likewise. State of Florida versus Melissa Babcock, 25 CF 473, 25 CF 475.
PD approved.
Hello, Ms. Babcock.
All right.
State, I think there's a duplicative charge here. It appears that there were two folks that were arrested at the same scene, and I think the law enforcement officer duplicated one of the allegations. I think that's in 25 CF 473. So the court is going to ROR her. I do not find probable cause and find that that charge is duplicative. I do find probable cause of possessing a controlled substance and possession of drug paraphernalia in 25 CF 475. Bond in count 1 is going to be set in the amount of $2,500. Bond in count 2 is going to be set in the amount of $500. She is not to return to the BP gas station on 13th Street. She's not to possess any illegal substances. And I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender, Ms. Babcock.
Next court date's on demand.
Thank you. To the floor versus Matthew Bell, 25 MM 363.
PD approved.
You refuse, Your Honor.
All right. You want to waive?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender, find probable cause for battery, bond set in the amount of $150. Thanks.
Next court date's on demand.
State of Florida versus Armando Flores, 25 MM 368.
PD approved.
Hello, Mr. Flores.
How you doing, Judge?
I'm well, thanks for asking. Mr. Flores, you're here based on an allegation of battery, domestic violence related. I've read the charging document. Do you find probable cause? Bond's going to be set in the amount of $1,000 with the following conditions. You're not to have contact whatsoever with Ms. Edwards. You may not return to the Orange Avenue address. I'll let you return one time with law enforcement to get some personal property while this case is pending, and I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent your interests. Thank you.
Date's on demand.
State of Florida versus Ashley Jameson.
PD approved.
Hello, Ms. Jameson.
Hello, sir.
Ms. Jameson, you are here with us based on an allegation of possessing a controlled substance, possessing marijuana less than 20 grams, and possessing drug paraphernalia. On probable cause for those allegations, bond in count 1 is going to be set in the amount of $1,000. Bond in count 2 is going to be set in the amount of $500. Bond in count 3 is going to be set in the amount of $500. Unfortunately, you're on probation in 23 CT 5273 was for an allegation of DUI. I find an on-view violation based on the court finding probable cause of a new law offense while you're on probation. So while you're going to be held without bond pending you seeing the judge on the violation of probation allegation in 23 CT 5273. Not sure you should have been driving, and I'm definitely sure that you shouldn't have been doing what it is alleged that you did in the affidavit. So you're going to be on no bond until you can explain that to the misdemeanor judge. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender on both cases. Thanks.
Court date's on demand.
State of Florida versus Jordan Jones.
Application found to the PD's office.
And Your Honor, I do have probable cause arguments in the 4-count case. I don't have the case number in front of me.
All right, there's two cases, 25 CF 475 and 25 MM 361. The CF case has allegations of DUI, refusal to submit, Willis, and failure to obey. Is that the one that you're making the probable cause?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm ready.
In regards to count 1, I see nothing in the arrest report giving probable cause that Mr. Jones has any previous convictions for driving under the influence other than the officer summarily stating it. There's no reference to any case numbers showing that any convictions exist. In regards to count 2, again, there's nothing in the report showing that Mr. Jones has been fined or his DL suspended for a previous refusal, again, other than the officer summarily stating it. And in regards to count 3, there's nothing in the arrest report that shows any previous convictions for driving under the influence past the officer stating it. You have no case numbers, no reference.
State.
Judge, for purposes of today's hearing, the court noted at the beginning that it has to take the information in the affidavit as true, although there's no case numbers. The officer did list the dates of the prior convictions for driving while suspended, and that there were 3 prior convictions, and the dates as well for DUI, and the dates for the 2 prior refusals. So I would say that that provides probable cause for today.
Yeah, counsel, you're correct that while he doesn't list case numbers, he lists the dates of the convictions. Court's going to find that that satisfies probable cause determination. The court is going to set bonds in all of these counts. I do find probable cause for each of the allegations. The bonds are going to be raised in a couple counts, reduced in a couple counts. As to 24 CF 476, bond in count 1's set in the amount of $10,000. Bond in count 2 is going to remain $500. Bond in count 3 is going to be raised to $10,000. Bond in count 4 is going to be reduced to $500. As to 2025 MM 361, the court finds probable cause for resisting an officer without violence. Bond is set in the amount of $500. As a condition of any bonds, he is not to drive without a valid driver's license. The Office of the Public Defender is appointed on both cases. Thanks.
Next court dates on demand.
State of Florida versus Karina Rains, 25 CF 474.
He was denied due to assets.
Hello, Ms. Rains.
Hello.
Ms. Rains, you were arrested based on an allegation of possessing a controlled substance. I find probable cause. Your bond set in the amount of $2,500. You make in excess of what the court can consider indigent for purposes of appointment of the Office of the Public Defender. So if you choose to be represented, you'll need to talk with one of our local attorneys. Thank you.
Next court dates on demand.
State of Florida versus Kendrick Rodriguez.
PD approved.
Hello, Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez, you were here with us based on an allegation of battery domestic violence related. I find probable cause. Your bond's going to be set in the amount of $1,000 with the following conditions. You're not to have contact for the time being with Bernice Mendoza. You can't go back to the Michigan Avenue Apartment 1 address until this case gets sorted out. I will allow you to return one time if you have some personal property there, and I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender. As a condition of the bond, you're not to possess any weapons or firearms. Thanks.
Next court dates on demand.
State of Florida versus Maria Villegas.
PD approved.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Ma'am, you as well are here based on an allegation of battery. Is this domestic violence related? Yes. This is alleged to be domestic violence related. I find probable cause. Bond is going to be set in the amount of $1,000. Do you all live together at the, well, let me appoint the Office of the Public Defender. The Office of the Public Defender is appointed. So now, do you wish to ask your new client whether they cohabitate?
Yes, Your Honor, they do.
Thank you. All right, I have no information from the alleged victim, so for the time being, it's going to be no contact with Howard Villegas, and they're to maintain separate residences. Ma'am, you may not possess any weapons or firearms. Thank you.
Next court dates on demand.
Court will allow return one time if the family intends to stay in that house. She can't be there. She may return one time with law enforcement to get some personal property. If the alleged victim chooses to leave, then she can return to the family home. That was the last of the cases I had on my list, Mr. Darnell. Do you have any additional clients?
We have Richard Mahabir.
Give me the last name one more time.
Mahabir.
Dear.
PD was denied due to assets.
My apologies, Mr. Mahabir. You can come on up.
And Your Honor, I do have a probable cause argument.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Sir, you were arrested based on allegations of aggravated assault with intent to commit a felony and resisting an officer without violence. Strano?
Yes, Your Honor. This should be an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. There's nothing in the report showing that Mr. Habir intended to commit another felony. Furthermore, he was not charged with any attempt or any other felony in this case.
State, I don't tend to disagree.
Can I have a moment, Judge? I'm looking.
Sure.
Based on the facts, Judge, I agree.
All right. Let me ask if the state intends. This is a dangerous crime pursuant to 907.041. Does the state intend to file a motion for pretrial detention based on these facts?
Not on this case, Judge, but based on the place of birth, I believe the court has to make an inquiry into the defendant's or the arrest immigration status. I'm not sure if it was flagged for the court before this.
Mr. Zuniga, has there been a immigration check done on Mr. Mahabir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Does he qualify as a unregistered alien?
We sent the request, but we don't have any new information as of yet. We haven't received any responses.
All right. I've got no additional information other than a birthplace, which I find is insufficient to make a determination that he qualifies for detention pursuant to the new statute. It will be the obligation of law enforcement and or pretrial release and or the state to provide that information to the court moving forward. So I find the record evidence is insufficient to qualify him for detention. He's going to be eligible for bond based on the representation that there is not likely to be a motion for pretrial detention filed by the state. I find probable cause for aggravated assault with a firearm. Bond in that count is going to be set in the amount of $5,000. As to resisting an officer without violence, bond is set in the amount of $1,000. As a condition of bond, he is not to have any contact whatsoever with Elenid Mahabir. He may not return to the Plymouth Turtle Circle address while this case is pending. He may return one time with law enforcement to get some personal property. He is not to possess any weapons or firearms. Mr. Mahabir, do you understand the conditions of your bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And the Office of the Public Defender is appointed.
Next court date's on demand.
Right. That should do it for the list. Thanks, Mr. No.
Yes, Your Honor. You have a good afternoon.
You as well.
Maybe.
Thank you, Ms. Scoville.
Thank you.